Welcome to the InSession Film Podcast for October 13th, 2013. This is episode 34, and I'm JD Duran.
And I'm Scott Pollard.
And I'm Brent Allen.
Brent, thanks for being here, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks so much for having me back. Time number two. Yeah.
Last time you were on for The Conjuring, which was a ton of fun.
Which was an awesome movie.
Awesome movie.
Scared the poop out of you.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
I hate scary movies, so. But it was a fun week. We had a lot of fun.
It was a good week, yeah.
A lot of stuff to talk about, and then you were also on for the extra film segment that week where we talked Turbo and Red 2.
Yep.
So that was a lot of fun. So thanks for being back. I'm really glad you're here.
Thanks for having me
for
back.
One of the better films of the year for sure. I can't wait to talk about Captain Phillips.
It's all right. Get back there. Yeah. Over here.
We got a problem. We pushed the ship too hard. We're off the grid. That means the computer's now offline.
Captain.
The ship's broken.
Captain, no one get hurt if you don't play no game.
The ship's broken. We had to go.
Nobody gets hurt. Easy. Hey! Look at me.
Sure.
Look at me. Sure. I'm the captain now.
All right, Captain Phillips is directed by Paul Greengrass and stars Tom Hanks, Barkhad, Abdi, and a few other people that you probably won't know. What did you guys think about Captain Phillips?
Captain Phillips. This was a movie that when the first time I saw the previews, I said, I want to go see this movie. I wasn't excited for it. I just remember thinking, I kind of wanted to go see this movie. Mostly because I was interested in how in 2013 or 2009 or whenever this movie, in today's age, how do you let a pirate sneak up on your ass? I don't understand. Yeah. And these aren't high-tech pirates, right? Like they're doing that. But this was a fantastic movie, and it was one that literally left me in shock.
Yeah, I thought this was really a gripping movie. Something recently historical. It's hard to do these sometimes because we all know the story, and we could possibly not be really excited by it, but in fact, I really enjoyed it, and I thought they did a really good job of kind of dodging some of the things that could make this movie poor. So I really enjoyed it. I thought Paul Greengrass did a really good job, and Tom Hanks, of course, great. So yeah, what'd you think of it, JD?
I loved it. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. And I guess to answer your question, Brent, I don't think they necessarily snuck up on him. They kind of knew they were coming. The first time and the second time around, they were kind of prepared for it a little bit, I guess. So,
well, sure, I knew that once I saw the movie, but going into it, I mean, seriously, in whatever year these reports first surfaced of we got pirates, did you guys sit there and go, pirates?
Yeah. In 2000, I agree.
Johnny Depp, pirates? Captain Jack Sparrow.
Was it quite Johnny Depp pirates?
Right, but these weren't high-tech people.
Yeah.
They're using a hook and a ladder and a gun.
Well, they had never really used ladders before. That was kind of different. That's why those ships are built so high,
right? So
that way pirates couldn't get onto them. And that's like if you go back and listen to some of the interviews that Tom Hanks did, he talked about that quite a bit. That the reason that these pirates have never been able to get onto a U.S. boat up until that time is because they were built so high. But they obviously went to Home Depot and got a ladder.
Yeah, thieves aren't very smart if it took them that long to.
What I thought was interesting because you saw them building this ladder, and I didn't know what they were doing in the movie.
Right.
But at least the Somalians were really smart to bring a welder on their mothership.
Yeah,
having that this thing together.
Yeah, they're skilled.
Yeah, this movie though is absolutely incredible, and I guess first I want to talk about the ending of the movie. I'm going to start at the end and go backwards because the last scene of this movie is incredibly gripping. And when I'm watching it, it is incredibly powerful and emotional. And I'm looking through the whole cinema and the whole crowd is like losing it. Mm-hmm. It is one of the most amazing things I've ever seen in this whole year so far. And what's really interesting, I don't know if you guys have seen interviews or read anything about it, but the people that are actually treating him on that scene are actual military personnel, and they didn't even know they were going to be in a movie. Huh. They literally were on the boat that the Navy gave to them for that scene and said, well, while we're here, why don't we just plan on shooting something? Because they actually had scenes planned for later on to end the movie, not that scene. Huh. but they decided, let's just try it anyway. And after like 4 or 5 takes, they're like, this is what we want to use.
Well,
so it's
got to be,
incredible.
because this is, I don't know if you guys remember some of these little debacles that Tom Hanks has had recently in his acting career. Specifically, you have the hair flop of the Da Vinci Code, and some of these others. But it honestly was probably one of the finest bits of acting that I've seen anyone do, was these last 2 or 3 minutes of the movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll say I did like him in Cloud Atlas, but I'll agree with you. This is, in my opinion, I think this is Tom Hanks' best performance in a decade.
Absolutely.
I think it's
at least since
fantastic.
Wilson.
Yeah.
At least since Wilson.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the part about what you just said about the real crew, real medics being there, that's pretty cool, because I was thinking during that scene when I was watching, I was like, man, this woman's really good. She really seems like a medic. I mean, she was doing, so it makes sense that she is. So I enjoyed that a lot too.
Yeah, and this scene, by the way, is exactly what I was talking about when I was saying this movie literally left me in shock. Yeah. Because you're just watching the movie, and it's a good hero movie, and the military is going to come to the rescue because this is an American movie, and they get him back in the and he's doing great the whole movie until this, like, the last second of when he's on this ship with these pirates. Yeah, from there to the end, and he's literally going into, like, you watch him going into shock. For these last few minutes, and here's the thing: I'm not an emotional person when it comes to movies. Like, I'm not a crier. I don't hide behind my cell phone in scary movies.
That's a reference to me in case you're wondering.
The Conjuring. But I'm not, but I literally, I wasn't just feeling emotion for Tom Hanks' character. I was feeling the emotions he was feeling. And that's when a movie does exactly what it's supposed to do.
Like JD said, he looked at the whole audience, and I had noted here that the audience seemed very affected by what went on. The lady that I went with, she was really into it, and probably more than I've ever seen her into a movie, which is pretty crazy. I myself wasn't as into it, but I could tell it totally affected everybody. So, it did a great job.
Oh, I was literally, she's sitting there telling him, all right, Mr. Phillips, breathe. And I'm in the audience going, breathe. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Sure.
Very suspenseful.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. For Paul Greengrass, to me, I think this is his best movie to date. Yeah. I think he's incredible.
What else has he done? I've never heard of this guy before. Oh, the Bourne movies.
As well as United 93.
United 93 is another big one that he's done. I love this movie. I thought it was fantastic. It definitely has the patented camera right up in your face that he has throughout a lot of this movie. But it works really well, and I thought it was effective for what he was trying to do. And it's just really intense. Like, the intensity that he brought to this movie is just through the roof.
Greengrass, you talking about the shots of up close and stuff. He uses shaky cam really well. Opposed to a lot of directors where they just want to use it all the time, and we're just shaking all the time. He knows when to put it in there, and it's really effective in his films.
Yeah, absolutely. I would 100% agree with that. And I think everything, all the pieces to the score, to trying to get the best out of his young actors, I just thought was impressive. And I love the way that he used the military in this movie. To me, that's one of the more fascinating parts about this whole story. But for me, what Paul Greengrass did in this movie was just the best piece of work I have seen from a director, or especially from him, but definitely this year, it's one of the best. It's right up there.
Yeah, and the sequences on the water were really impressive because you never felt like it was fake. You never felt like this is a soundstage, like Master and Commander, for instance, or a lot of other films that are on the water. You feel like it's just not real.
Or it's a miniature and the thing that they're blowing with a fan.
Exactly. This is so good. I know a lot of the shots where he tracked up to the ship were really good because he didn't go too fast. But you kind of glided over all these other ships to the main lifeboat or whatever. So I thought that was an excellent part.
The night shots too out there on the water. I remember looking, just going, and I know it sounds cheesy and most people don't care, but like the reflections that they were getting out of the water. The way the lighting director was using the light off the water to its back which
was really important in some parts too.
Yeah, especially at one point where they're kind of more in the water. And it's hard to see them a little bit, but they were real creative about getting that light in there. Yeah,
that was
really
cool.
Fantastic. Yeah, to me, it was just kind of like there was a couple of little things too that I thought kind of brought just a little something to the movie, maybe helped enhance the intensity a little bit, or kind of brought the danger aspect a little bit. Like one example, there's a scene where they're. For the entire version of our podcast, be sure to subscribe to us on iTunes or on Stitcher, or check us out online at InSessionFilm.com.